Too many people have been befooling themselves with the illusion that a change in government will ameliorate their living conditions, that the social service institution will eliminate poverty, disease, and crime, that science will build a paradise full of peace and happiness on earth, that certain new economic reform or measures would change the face of the earth, and that we need not bother ourselves about our future. Let us be free from all these notions. Our present condition should be enough to convince us of the fallacy of these stereotypes. No doubt science, social service institutions, economic reform and all the rest are making their own valuable contribution. But as long as the attitude, the outlook, the behavior and the interpersonal relationships of men do not change and are devoid of love and such other values that create social and inner harmony, the world will not become a better place to live in. Self transformation in terms of higher value is essential to bring about world transformation, and the time in which we are living do call for such a change. In fact, a large number of people all over the world wish the world order to change and new values to be incorporated in our lifestyle. Why our behavior is what it is. It has been rightly said that the atmosphere in our home has a very close relation to our conduct. Lack of adequate space and minimum decency of physical existence. Why our behavior is what it is. It has been rightly said that the atmosphere in our home has a very close relation to our conduct. Lack of adequate space and of minimum decencies of physical existence and also of parental love, care and control are often responsible for a person's misconduct in adult life. It is these which are responsible for juvenile delinquency and for crime in later life. Lack of proper atmosphere causes unsocial attitude or suppression of wishes which later breaks out in misdemeanor. Further, one identifies oneself with one or many groups. Groups, associations, or institutions have a very powerful influence in habit formation. The custom, the folkways or rules of conduct of the community, and also the role of the individual in that group enormously would be personality and influence the lifestyle and the behavior of a person. Just as an individual acquires the language of a social group, so does he generally acquire the moral standard or the values of the group, consciously or subconsciously. The process of habit formation started by the parent, right? By the parent in the form of praise, denunciation, or blame. It's contained further by the community, right? In this process, neighborhood conditions, religious institutions, and the law of the government also play an important part. The language, the local custom, public opinion, edicts of the government, right? Edicts of the friends and relatives, the discourses of the preacher, conversation with the elderly and other people, the personality of the teacher, the news media, the literature and the leader, the economic condition and the arts and the visual imagery, the form of amusement, all these influence a person's character, value system, way of thinking and behavior. But most powerful of all these are our belief system, our relation, our sanskar, our goals, and our circumstances. How our behavior is influenced by our belief system. For it is our belief that determine our outlook, or our attitude and our behavior. For example, if people believe that man is a fighting animal or is aggressive by nature, and that wars are therefore inevitable, then their behavior would be influenced by this belief, and then nothing can help to make the world better. Similarly, people feel that man is originally and basically selfish. Then this too would determine his behavior, and then all our attempt to infuse in him the spirit of service would be futile, because our effort to promote values would be weakened by our these beliefs and would be only half-hearted. Right? It has rightly been said that man is what his faith is. Man is what his faith is. His faith has the power to move mountains. So if this faith is that aggression and fighting are natural to him, that he has animal instinct in him, then the tender is always there and is. If on the other hand man has the faith that his original nature is pure and divine, then he can be divine. So it is essential to give him right type of faith and belief system. Further, it is our awareness of our relation that determines our behavior. The behavior of a mother towards her children, a wife towards her husband, a child towards its parent, or a teacher towards his or her student is influenced by each one's awareness of that particular relationship with the other. Similarly, one sanskar also affects one's behavior. Even when a person has a wish to become good, his vicious sanskars may exert grace for on him to do the opposite, though of course he can control this urge or the sanskara. Right? Today, a very large number of people think that matter is the only real thing. They believe that if the existence of an entity cannot be ascertained and affirmed, as it can be done in the case of a material object or force, then that entity is only a hypothetical or imaginary one. Its existence is not real. So they do not believe in the existence of soul, which is a non-physical, non-material and a spiritual entity. They either do not know or they overlook the fact that there is available many kinds of evidence that bears testimony to the truth that soul is a metaphysical entity that really exists, and that the nature of the conscious soul is different from the inconscient matter. Such people fail to realize that if we treat persons as if they were objects of matter, they resent and protest. Similarly, we cannot treat material objects as conscient persons because they have no emotions, experience, or relationship with us. Obviously, there are two different realms of existence. Consciousness is the basic or the primary reality. So, if there were no consciousness, then even the existence of matter could not be known. This then shows that the very first or the basic belief of millions of people of the world, namely that there are no souls but only matter, is wrong. This wrong belief has led them to identify themselves with their respective body and to consider only their physical relative as their own relative. This in turn has resulted in a narrow loyalty only towards their nearest relatives or only to their racial, ethnic, or national group. It is this that has resulted in giving them narrow worldview, narrow consideration, and group rivalry, and this has struck hard at the root of harmony among human beings. Thank you for watching.